are many and affect every part of the process. The time frame is much shorter.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Avenir Center in downtown Moncton, where today it's the Moncton Wildcats' final home game of the preseason as they match up against the Acadie-Bathurst Titan. This is the only matchup between these two in the preseason this year. Last year in the regular season, the Wildcats were 8-1 against the Titan. The only blemish was the Titans' first victory of the season after they started the year with 17 straight losses. That one loss back on November 8th of 2019. The Wildcats did win all the other 8 matchups, including the last game between the two teams on March 5th, a 3-2 win in Bathurst. Tim Roselle, very pleased to be joining you this afternoon on the Wildcats YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. The Wildcats enter play today with a 3-1 record in the preseason. Their last game was back on Sunday, a 7-4 loss against the Cape Breton Eagles. Wildcats got goals from Mathis Kluche, Jacob Hudson, Johan Loshing, and Connor Richard in that one. Moncton fired 46 shots at the Eagle net, but credit William Grimard with a strong afternoon in goal for the Eagles in that one. Well, the Titan come in today with a record of 1-2 in the preseason. They're coming off of a 9-6 loss at home against Charlottetown on September 11th. Former Moncton Wildcat Mark Rumsey had a goal in that game. The Titan, of course, finished last year at 12-48-4, 36 points on the season. That was last in the Maritimes and 10th in the Eastern Conference. It was year 2 of their rebuild after winning the Memorial Cup in 2018. Well, now a lot of those same faces that finished last season as Titan are back once again. They've got a little more experience this year, and they're expected to take another step as they continue to push back toward a strong team this year. Well, it's the Wildcats and the Titan. We'll be ready for puck drop when we come back. You're watching live coverage of 2020 Kent Holmes Moncton Wildcats training camp action.
Depending how complicated the house is, I'd say a half hour to set up the jig. And they give us our drawings, all our specs, and what gang nail to use. Tells us all the place, all the members, how they go together. The old days, they used to use plywood gussets and with nails, but now you got a bunch of nails in it. So they hold tight once they're pressed. The table is going to slide under it, and it's going to press in one shot. Some presses take a lot of shots to press. This one's in one shot presses all the plates of the whole truck. This way, one shot and everything is stable and you don't have stuff moving around. I feel it's better this way for the kind of trusses we do.
Starting lineups this afternoon for the Wildcats wearing red, skating right to left. They will begin the game with Jacob Hudson centering Mathis Kluche and Owen Stammer up front. The defenseman Connor Olson and Tristan DeYoung, the Teton in white, coached by Mario DeRoche. They will counter with Cole Huckins, Mark Rumsey, and Felix Antoine Marcotti. The defense, Adam McCormick and Cole Larkin. Starting goaltenders today are Dakota Lund Cornish for the Wildcats, Tommy De Silva for the Teton. We'll give you their numbers in a moment as we're underway here in Moncton. Jacob Hudson has it, hits the red line and will carry ahead quickly, brings it in on the left wing side, going wide on his backhand. Got in behind the net with it. Now gave to Stammer, centering pass, deflected up over the head of Kluche. Fed in behind the goal. Stammer had it slip through his legs. Now Hudson to the line. Quick snapshot by DeYoung, missed the net. Kluche after it for Moncton. It's Marcotti who will get it ahead to center. Felix Antoine Marcotti now to Rumsey. Can't get around Tristan DeYoung. Ends up behind the net. Olsen chopped it around on the near side. Cole Huckins cycles for Rumsey. Mark Rumsey lost it. Olsen not able to clear, but now DeYoung has a chance. He'll feed Stammer, and he's got some time to get it ahead at center. This is Hudson in on the left wing, shooting. Stopped by De Silva. Big rebound. Lane Hinckley moved it into the corner for the Teton. DeGagne had his pass go off the stick of the pinching Sean Stewart over to the far corner. Flipped ahead on the left wing. There is Logan Chisholm getting it to his own line, and it will come to center. Philip Daou for the Wildcats brings it in on the left wing side. Couldn't get inside on the Teton defenseman Sam McKinney. Now Chisholm spins. Got it off the glass to the line. Not out. Second effort, it does come to center from DeGagne. Riley Kidney in on the right wing side. Had it knocked off of his stick. Cleared around on the right wing, and now the Wildcats will start out. Sean Stewart up the left wing for Daou. It came back to Stewart. He got it to the Bathurst line. Dominic LeBlanc picks it up for Moncton. Had it knocked off his stick. Riley Kidney ahead on the right wing side. This is Bennett MacArthur with a backhander. Blockered wide by Dakota Lund Cornish. Dancing in front, MacArthur again fired a shot. That's off a skate over the net. DeGagne behind the goal. Tried to stuff it in front. That one missed. Puck bounced off his stick. Now Sean Stewart. Gave to Jordan Spence. He'll get it around the glass to the line. Held in by Carter Ansems. Spence around on the left wing. LeBlanc got it to the line. It's held in there by Godet. He got knocked down by LeBlanc. Vinny LaBelle with a chance to clear it. He will carry it to center. Brought in now offside at the Bathurst line. Goaltenders today. Dakota Lund Cornish for the Wildcats. The overager is appearing in his third game in the preseason. He's 1-0. Hasn't allowed a goal yet. He played 20 minutes and made 10 stops in the game against Cape Breton back on Sunday. Tommy De Silva is in his third preseason game as well. He's 0-2 so far. He allowed 4 goals on 23 shots in the 9-6 loss against Charlottetown back on September 11th. Played about half the game in that one. Just one referee in today's game. That's Tyler Puttiffant, the linesman Harrison O'Prey, and Jay Dwaron, as we get a stuff opportunity there by Jacob Stewart that is denied. Poked ahead to the line, and now it is cleared out to center ice. Nicholas Pavan for Nathan Casey. Gives to Jacob Stewart. Pass into the middle. Langlois on the backhand. Had that deflect off a stick and wide. Larkin lost it in behind his own net. Jacob Stewart battling for it with Alexi Dubé. Lifted high to the line. It'll be batted down and out to center ice by David Doucette. Wildcats changing on the fly as we approach the 4-minute mark of the opening period. Long pass to center. Ben Allison is offside at the Moncton line. So they'll mark a face-off all the way back in the Bathurst zone to the right of Tommy De Silva, second-round pick of the Cape Breton Eagles in 2017. Never did play for Cape Breton, ended up in St. John and in Gatineau last year for a little bit as well. So this is his 4th organization since 2017. Teton have it now in the Moncton zone. It's fed in back of the net. Jeremy Berube has it for the Wildcats. Reverses flow for Tristan DeYoung. Ahead on the left wing. LeBlanc tipped that to the line. It just got out. Yannick Bastarache, the local product, gets it into the right corner of the Moncton zone. Turning LeBlanc. Tied up in the corner. Lost it. Dubé to the line. Hinckley winds and wrists. Deflected wide with a stick by Dakota Lund-Cornish. One-handed to the line now, and good play there by Vinny LaBelle to get it out. Long up on the right wing, tipped ahead by Bastarache for Dubé. Couldn't get it in deep. Jordan Spence lifts it off the glass and out. Cloutier after it. Godet came across and knocked that away from him. And now Ansom's in front of his own net. He's knocked down. Hudson, sharp angle, shooting. Oh, that one went off the mask of De Silva and wide of the goal. Might have gotten a little bit of the post. Spence up from the right point now. Jordan Spence moves back to the line. Gives to Hudson on the right wall. Hudson spins it in front. Intercepted by Felix-Antoine Marcotti, and he'll get it down inside the Moncton zone. But we are going to have a Wildcats penalty here as Jordan Spence stepped in front of Marcotti. He's going to get an interference call here. .446 the time of the penalty. Teton power play is 2 for 10 in the preseason. Wildcats penalty kill come in at 77.8% so far in the preseason. Jacob Stewart won the draw, brings it in left side, shoots, and he just whistled that one wide. Francis Langlois in the corner center. Stewart fires, that's blocked. Poke checking it away is De Silva. Winding and slapping DeYoung. That one's blocked in front. That stung de Gagne a little bit, and he's hunched over at the waist. Wildcats get it out to center. They're going to play a little bit of keep away here as 30 seconds have ticked by in the Jordan Spence interference penalty. We're past the 5-minute mark in the opening period. No score. Tim Roselle with you live at Avenir Center. Chipped ahead on the right wing wall by Rumsey. Stolen quickly, and the Wildcats clear it. Adam McCormick, longtime Cape Breton Eagle, traded over here for his overage season. Passes ahead on the right side. It's tipped in deep by de Gagne. Sean Stewart reverses it around near side. Good play. Got it up high on the glass. And it will bounce down inside the Bathurst zone where McCormick will regroup. Less than a minute to go in the Spence minor as McCormick steps in front of his own net. Shovel pass to the left wing side. Riley Kidney stood up. Now Dominic LeBlanc brings it in. LeBlanc rubbed out over on the far boards by Big Cole Huckins. 6'4" center iceman entering his second season in the queue. Brings it ahead on the right wing side. He's across the line, drops for Ben Allison. Allison moves to the top of the right circle, feeds the left point. That's Kidney. Over to the right boards, Huckins. Now into the slot. Chisholm couldn't handle the pass. Kidney holds it in left point. Kidney for Chisholm, left circle. Right side. McKinney fires. That's deflected off of Dakota Lund-Cornish and wide. Kidney holds it in left point, trying to get the puck to settle here. Final 10 of the power play. Huckins' pass in front is tipped wide by Allison. Chisholm around the net for Huckins again. Huckins' sharp angle shot, gloved by Lund-Cornish, and he will hang on to that with just 1 second left in the Jordan Spence penalty. Good kill by the Wildcats there. It'll be a face-off to Lund-Cornish's left. Vinny LaBelle takes it for Moncton against Huckins. And now Huckins is thrown out. So Chisholm will come in, the only remaining member of the Teton from that 2018 Memorial Cup team. Wildcats won the draw. It's played up the right side. Tyson Tomasini wants to regroup. Spence is out of the box. He'll stay on the ice as Vinny LaBelle gets it high and out. Larkin for his partner Hinckley. Ahead on the left wing. Did Chisholm touch that? They're going to say no, but he was engaged at center. Puck goes down the ice. No icing. Tomasini played it right in front of his own net. It's stolen here. Allison. Left side for Huckins. Tied up with Tomasini. It's played in behind the net. Allison knocked over nicely by LaBelle. Spence quickly right side for Tomasini. Fed up the middle. LaBelle has Casey open on the left side. Back to LaBelle. He couldn't handle the pass. Ends up in the right wing corner, and Chisholm will reset for Bathurst. Fed it in behind his own goal for Hinckley. Big blue liner stands in behind his own net and waits. Now feeds it cross ice for Cole Larkin. Further ahead on the left wing, it's dumped in now by Dylan Champagne. Out of the net, Lund Cornish. Got it around near side. Pavan is knocked down. Jacob Hudson will move it up the left wing. Mathis Kluche. Cross ice to Jeremy Berube. Got it just inside the line. Play broken up. Teetaw have it. McKinney whipped it behind his own net. McCormick will flip this one high, and it'll bounce down at center ice. Pavan regroups with Berube. And back to Nicholas Pavan. Up the middle, Stammer fed it right side. Pass was too far for Hudson. Bounces down in front of the Bathurst bench. And now Berube has control as he turns back across his own side of center. Steps ahead and feeds the left wing side. Kluche looking for some help from Stammer here. They're tied up with Yannick Bastarache. Fed high off the back glass. Reversed by McKinney. McCormick around right side, and Bastarache will get it to the line. It's held in by DeYoung. Bounce that down toward the corner. Kluche will pick it up along the left hash marks. Knocked away from him, and Doucette will get it out to center. We're just shy of the 9-minute mark now in the opening period. Tim Roselle with you live at Avenir Center. No score. Shots are 3-2 Teton so far. 3 Bathurst players to center. MacArthur. Pass cross ice looking for Allison. Doesn't work. Now a second chance is blocked. Here comes Bernier the other way. Had it knocked off of his stick. Loshing after it for Moncton. Was off a skate in front. Daou reaching for it. Unable to settle for the Wildcats. Allison brings it the other way. And Allison on a sharp angle shot hit the outside of the goal with it. Philip Daou. Nice pass up the middle. Loshing has some room. Loshing going wide on the left wing side on Godet. Rolls it toward the net. Ends up back of the goal. He'll pick it up there. Swings it in front. Unable to control that was Daou. Now Daou with a good stick lift on Doucette to steal it at center. Both teams changing with Sean Stewart carrying to center. He'll rip it in around the goal. Spence on it quickly for Moncton. Blasted it back around. Comes to the left point. Stewart just held it onside. Huckins has it deep in his own zone. Gave it to Hinckley ahead on the left side. Rumsey was tied up. Clearing pass knocked down off the glove of Nathan Casey. Ansems will get it ahead on the left wing to center. There's Rumsey, the ex-Wildcat. For Huckins in on the right side. Shovels a backhander into the corner. Spence slips that behind his own net. Langlois able to free it up for Jacob Stewart. Starts ahead with a left wing pass. This is Spence joining the rush. Brings it in across the line, but it's ruled that Nathan Casey was in just ahead of the play. It's offside against Moncton. Wildcats have one more preseason game after today. It's this coming Friday night in St. John. Teton have one more as well. They'll only play 5 preseason games this year. But remember, with the way the schedule is laid out in the QMJHL this season, it's going to be an all-Maritimes division all year. These two teams will play each other 12 times, 6 in each building. So you know the rivalry will build up quickly. Huckins brings it in through the middle. Couldn't split the defense. Rumsey left side cycles it into the corner. Huckins in a battle now with DeYoung. Left it centered in front. Rumsey tried to snap the one-timer and he fanned on it. Fed ahead by Olsen. Now LeBlanc. Up the middle, this is Tyson Tomasini. Tomasini got it in through the middle, but it's poked over to the right corner. Penalty coming up to Bathurst here. Dakota Lund Cornish headed to the bench. And play will be blown dead as it's cleared out to center. Referee Tyler Puttifant will call a holding penalty against defenseman Lane Hinckley. So after watching the Teton not score on their first opportunity of the afternoon, the Wildcats have their first man advantage of the day. Jordan Spence moves to the middle, drops it left side. Daou's shot is deflected wide. Bernier for Daou, left hash marks. Back to the line, this is Spence. Spence winds and fires, glove saved by De Silva. Moncton power play's been good in the preseason, 5 for 17 so far. That's 29.4%. Bathurst penalty kill has struggled so far, working at just 50% efficiency in the preseason, 4 power play goals against on only 8 tries, this one being the 9th. Tetal win the draw, and it's quickly one time down the ice by Matthew DeGagne. Keep in mind the Wildcats have also allowed a shorthanded goal in the preseason. That came last Sunday to Cape Breton Eagle forward and former Tetal captain Sean Elliman. Daou after this left side had it swatted away from him by Larkin, and the Tetal lifted out. Penalty to Hinckley has a minute 15 left in it as Jordan Spence turns behind his own net. Steps in front of the goal, got around his man Kidney, finds Loshing on the left wing side. Johan Loshing tied up quickly by Larkin, got it back of the goal though. Hudson around the net for Philip Daou. To the line, Jordan Spence. Spence looking and now finding Daou top of the left circle. Stammer has come off the bench to join the power play. Daou for Spence, one-timer right on. Nice stop by De Silva. Hudson turns left corner to get away from Larkin. Jacob Hudson in the right corner. Gives off now to Spence at the line. This is Daou. Philip Daou left circle, shooting that one off a skate. Spence now one-times it. That's deflected off the post. Stammer with a chance. That was blocked. Now it bounces toward the net, and down with the paddle down is Tommy De Silva. He'll smother that for a whistle. Good chance there for Moncton as that shot from the line deflected up and got either the post or the crossbar and stayed out. And then De Silva did well to track that rebound opportunity. 26 seconds left in the Hinckley penalty. Draws one by Allison. Teton with a chance to clear. It'll be Bennett MacArthur sending it down the ice. Tristan DeYoung will start out with a pass for Connor Olsen. He'll rip it in from the right side of center. LeBlanc after it there for Moncton. Final seconds of this man advantage. Allison nearly had it stolen from Hudson, but the Wildcats maintain possession. Now the penalty is over. Left circle, that's LeBlanc. Tried to feed Hudson in front, but that was blocked. And here comes Allison to center. He's in across the line, cuts into the middle with it, shoots and scores. Ben Allison with a rocket wrist shot as the seas parted for him a little bit. Carried the puck in on the right wing and then beats Dakota Lund Cornish high blocker's side. It's 1-0 Bathurst. Just getting a look at the replay there, and a perfect shot from Allison. Got just inside the right post on Dakota Lund Cornish. Ben Allison, a former Eagles draft pick, played one game for Cape Breton, and it was in this building. Picked up on waivers by the Teton last year from Gatineau. This pass ahead, tipped by Dubé into the Moncton bench. So we've got a whistle and a face-off coming. 13-18, the time of the goal for Allison. So it came only 12 seconds after that penalty to Hinckley expired. How often do you see that? A strong penalty kill followed up by a good shift and a goal. As this one is deflected up out of play once again. We'll have a face-off in the Moncton zone. Shots on goal in the game, now even at 5 apiece. Face-off will be to the right of Dakota Lund Cornish. Jacob Stewart will take it for Moncton. And he wins it. Fed quickly to Nicholas Pavan. Got it up the left wing, but not out. Gaudette stepped in front of his man Nathan Casey. Pavan now tied up. Bastrash in front. Backhander tipped wide by Lund Cornish. Pavan reverses it for Jacob Stewart. He'll give off to the defenseman Charles-Antoine Palat. Back to Pavan. Casey unable to clear. Up from the right side, this is Dubé. Shoveled it in behind the net. Andrews after it. He's rubbed off the puck by Pavan. Muscled to the line there by Langlois. He got it out. Jacob Stewart left it looking for Casey. Play is broken up. Teton have it inside their own line. 5:35 to go here in the opening period. 1-0 Bathurst in front. Long pass down to the Moncton line. Marcotti now centers it in front. Quick wrist shot kicked away by Dakota Lund-Cornish. That off the stick of Mark Rumsey. Penny LaBelle able to shovel a backhander out and down into the Bathurst zone. Now Huckins starts back the other way. Feeds it over to the left wing side. Rumsey is knocked off stride, and Tomasini will start out. Has a man up on the right side. It's LeBlanc, 2-on-1. LeBlanc back in front. Tomasini, backhand shot stopped by De Silva. Big rebound. Tomasini has it again. Into the right circle. Daou one-timer. Blocker save. It's loose again. Tomasini knocks it into the left corner. Tyson Tomasini with it one more time. Gives off to Daou here. Philip Daou has a man pinching. The pass in front for Spence was deflected away. Rumsey will carry to center ice now. He's tied up quickly by Sean Stewart at the Moncton line. And this is lifted out to center. Good chance, couple of them in fact, for the Wildcats there. McCormick backs up inside his own zone, feeds it ahead to the newly named captain of the Teton, Matthew DeGagne. Now left side, this is Logan Chisholm. Knocked off the puck defensively by Jeremy Berube. Chisholm gets it back. Centers it to the line. That was off the inside of the stick of Larkin and down into the Bathurst zone. Off the heel, if you will. Long pass to center. Deflected in on one hop right on goal. Lund-Cornish had to be careful with that. Jeremy Berube starts out. He's got a man to the right. That's Bernier. Over to the left side now. Daou trying to get past Larkin, and that doesn't work. Chisholm with a chance to clear. He will get it to center to Gagne. Knocks it just inside the Moncton line. Under 4 minutes to go in the period now. 1-0 Bathurst. Loshing got it into the Bathurst zone. Broken up quickly, though. Chisholm and Larkin have it tied up on the boards. Now it's fed to the front of the net. Marc-Andre Gaudette will step back of the goal with it. Puck stolen here. Hudson looking to center. It's off a stick. Owen Stammer near the left point. Feeds the right side. That's DeYoung. Rolls it in toward the net. Hit a skate in front. Mathis Cloutier worked it free. Stammer looking to shoot. That one's blocked. Sharp angle chance. Cloutier went off the outside of the goal. Bennett MacArthur feeds it into the middle, and now carrying ahead to center is Gaudette. Long wrist shot. Sails wide. Blocker side on Lund-Cornish. Long shot by MacArthur is stopped. Now he's got it again. Backhand chance, and he missed the net. Ben Allison cycles for MacArthur here. MacArthur's cross-ice pass is blocked. Wildcats have a couple breaking here. The pass ahead goes off of Stammer's stick down in deep. Cleared around on the far side and out to center. Connor Olson with it for Moncton, had it stolen. Allison gives to Doucette. In on the right side, stops, feeds Hinckley at the line. He couldn't control the pass. It's fed back in on a delayed offside. The Teton clear. And play will continue with 2:15 to go in the opening period. Ben Allison's 5th goal of the preseason has the Teton up 1-0. Gaudette the only assist so far on that goal. Casey into the left corner. Had it skip up on the dasher board for Langlois. He gets it back. Casey centering feed, deflects to Pavan, left point. Now Casey again for Pavan. Right side, this is Palat. Wrister in front is blocked. Backhand chance stopped. Another chance by Stewart goes off the outside of the net. De Silva may have gotten that with a left foot. Now a backhand chance. Langlois, and he missed the goal. Francis Langlois cycled behind the goal for Stewart. Back to Langlois again. Stewart into the right corner. Plays it behind the net. Langlois looking to center. That's blocked by Hinckley. Good pressure by the Wildcats here. Stewart chopping it free back of the goal. Casey is there too. Langlois in a battle for it. Langlois looking to center. That's broken up. And Yannick Bastarache will carry it to center ice. Bastarache in on the right wing side. Drops for Dubé. Little snapshot right on. Stopped and held by Dakota Lund-Cornish with 1:08 to go here in the opening period. So again, that goal for Allison, his 5th of the preseason at 13-18 from Marc-Andre Gaudette. Face off to Lund-Cornish's left. Is won by Moncton. They cannot clear it though. Bastarache got in front of that play from Spence. LeBlanc Up the middle for Spence. This is LaBelle now. Right wing side, Tomasini. Looking for the give and go with LaBelle, and the pass for him was deflected away. And now we've got an offside call at the Bathurst blue line. Just 48.9 seconds left in the period now. It'll be LaBelle and Huckins on this face-off. Teton win the draw. McCormick cross ice in front of his own net. Cole Larkin for Mark Rumsey at center ice. Knocked that one down into the right corner of the Moncton zone. Sean Stewart bumped off the puck. Huckins dealing with a bouncing puck here. Sweeps it wide. Stewart will reverse it again. It's stolen by Marcotti. Centering pass is blocked. Dominic LeBlanc now rolls it around on the left wing side. That was too far for Spence. 15 seconds to go in the period. Marcotti sharp angle. Backhand chance is stopped by Dakota Lund-Cornish. LeBlanc will kick it loose behind the net. Now Spence goes left side for LaBelle. He'll flip it high to center. Tomasini took a swipe at it to get it across the red line, and that will do it for period number 1 here at Avenir Center. The only goal of the first period came with about 7 minutes to go in it. Moments after the Teton killed off a penalty, they scored the game's only goal from Ben Allison, his 5th of the preseason. Marc-Andre Gaudette, the only assist at 13:18 of the opening period. We will come back in just a few moments. And when we do, we'll have my conversation with Jacob Hudson, the Wildcats' overage forward. We'll talk to Jacob about the extended off-season and how he managed to cope through the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, we look back briefly at last season's abrupt end and his thoughts on the club that was for the end of 2019-2020 for the Wildcats. And we also talk about this year as well, what it means to him to be the most experienced player in terms of being in a Wildcats uniform on this Moncton team now. And we also look ahead at his thoughts on the upcoming year. All that and more coming up with Jacob Hudson in just a few moments. Then we'll come back. We'll go around the queue and take a look at a busy Saturday schedule in Quebec Major Junior Hockey League preseason action. All that and more coming up here in our first intermission. It's 1-0 Teton leading the Wildcats through 20 minutes here at Avenir Center. You're watching live coverage of Moncton Wildcats 2020 Kent Holmes training camp action. Of today's preseason game between the Moncton Wildcats and Acadie-Bathurst Titan. Tim Roselle very pleased to be joined by Moncton Wildcats veteran forward Jacob Hudson. Huddy, first of all, let's wind the clock back a little bit. How were you able to manage through the COVID-19 pandemic?
Just taking it day by day, really. My trainer hooked me up with some equipment and stuff and some things to keep me, in shape. And, that really helped. I was doing a lot of school as well whenever I went back home, and just between working out and schooling, that kind of got me through, and just hanging out with my family.
Were you able to keep your routine as regular as possible given the restrictions that were in place?
Ish, yeah. It was tough not to be coming to the rink, but obviously with school and little things, working out and stuff. I mean, I kept pretty busy, and yeah. So I mean, it was overall it was a solid COVID-19 break, I guess.
Now, especially in the early days of the pandemic, how much did you think about what might have been with that roster that the Wildcats had accumulated last year?
I think we would have went far. I mean, we had such an amazing team, and we were just starting to come together. So many good players and so many great opportunities that we had looking forward to, and it just sucks that it was cut short. And I mean, moving on, we got a great team this year, a lot of young talent, and yeah, we're gonna look to win some games this year.
Talk about the transition, obviously, from that veteran-laden club last year to now a group that, you had a lot of roster spots open to come into training camp this year, different training camp as well, and we'll talk about that in a second. But what has the transition been like, knowing that this is going to be, more of a building year for this team?
I mean, it's a pretty big transition. We had so many pro guys last year, and just older guys, more mature, and there's some guys with some less experience in here, but I mean they're all good players and they're all good people. So I mean, just age and maturity wise, but they'll learn pretty quick. I think we got some good leaders, and they'll show the way, and I think they'll be comfortable very quickly.
Now, what has this training camp been like for you? A training camp like no other, really?
It's been awesome. I mean, the staff did a great job setting everything up, and they're keeping us safe and making sure that we're doing all the little things right. And yeah, I mean, it's been different, but obviously it's been great. Yeah, so it's going well.
You sort of allude to my next point. You mentioned that it's been different. How? What's been different? What are the major differences that stand out for you?
I mean, everyone says that the masks, it's becoming an everyday thing. I think people are getting used to it. Just put it on. And other than that, really, just like keeping everything clean and tidy, and little things, washing your hands, and yeah, I mean, it hasn't been a big change, but just little things to keep in mind as we're going through this pandemic.
Now, I'm sure it doesn't feel like it for you, but you're the graybeard on this team now with the most experience in a Wildcats uniform of anybody else who's here. What does that make you think about? What do you think about when you hear that, and when you sort of sit back and process that you're in your 5th year now?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I learned a lot over the past 4 years, and yeah, I mean, it's cool to give off experience of mine, and things I've learned, and give them off to the younger guys, and just kind of lead the way. We got lots of great leaders, the 2 Stewarts, Tristan Young, Spence, and there's so many others in there that are great people. So I mean, a great leadership group will lead these young guys the right way, and I think we'll do that.
We'll wrap up with this. What are you going to look forward to over the next couple of weeks, getting ready for the start of the season? What are you looking for from this group?
I just want to start on time. I mean, we got a lot of great skill, and and work hard. I want them to work hard. Yeah, I mean, if we do those 2 things, I think we'll be a great team, and we'll surprise some teams this year for sure.
Howdy, thanks for this. Good luck.
Thank you.
And welcome to the intermission of today's preseason game between the Moncton Wildcats and Acadie-Bathurst Titan. Tim Roselle, very pleased to be joined by Moncton Wildcats veteran forward Jacob Hudson. Huddy, first of all, let's wind the clock back a little bit. How were you able to manage through the COVID-19 pandemic?
Just taking it day by day, really. My trainer hooked me up with some equipment and stuff, and some things to keep me, in shape, and yeah, that really helped. I was doing a lot of school as well whenever I went back home, and yeah, just between working out and schooling, that kind of got me through, and just hanging out with my family. Yeah.
Were you able to keep your routine as regular as possible given the restrictions that were in place?
Ish, yeah. I mean, it was tough not to be coming to the rink, but obviously with school and little things, working out and stuff. I mean, I kept pretty busy, and yeah. So I mean, it was overall it was solid COVID-19 break, I guess.
Now, especially in the early days of the pandemic, how much did you think about what might have been with that roster that the Wildcats had accumulated last year?
I think we would have went far. I mean, we had such an amazing team, and we were just starting to come together. So many good players and so many great opportunities that we had looking forward to, and it just sucks that it was cut short. And I mean, moving on, we got a great team this year, a lot of young talent, and yeah, we're gonna look to win some games this year.
Talk about the transition, obviously, from that veteran-laden club last year to now a group that, you had a lot of roster spots open to come into training camp this year, different training camp as well, and we'll talk about that in a second. But what has the transition been like, knowing that this is going to be, more of a building year for this team?
I mean, it's a pretty big transition. We had so many pro guys last year, and just older guys, more mature, and there's some guys with some less experience in here, but I mean they're all good players and they're all good people. So I mean, just age and maturity wise, but they'll learn pretty quick. I think we got some good leaders, and they'll show the way, and I think they'll be comfortable very quickly.
Now, what has this training camp been like for you? A training camp like no other, really?
It's been awesome. I mean, the staff did a great job setting everything up, and they're keeping us safe and making sure that we're doing all the little things right. And yeah, I mean, it's been different, but obviously it's been great. So it's going well.
You sort of allude to my next point. You mentioned that it's been different. How? What's been different? What are the major differences that stand out for you?
I mean, everyone says that the masks, it's becoming an everyday thing. I think people are getting used to it. Just put it on. And other than that, really, just like keeping everything clean and tidy, and little things, washing your hands, and yeah, I mean, it hasn't been a big change, but just little things to keep in mind as we're going through this pandemic.
Now, I'm sure it doesn't feel like it for you, but you're the graybeard on this team now with the most experience in a Wildcats uniform of anybody else who's here. What does that make you think about? What do you think about when you hear that, and when you sort of sit back and process that you're in your 5th year now?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I learned a lot over the past 4 years, and yeah, I mean, it's cool to give off experience of mine, and things I've learned, and give them off to the younger guys, and just kind of lead the way. We got lots of great leaders, the 2 Stewarts, Tristan Young, Spence. There's so many others in there that are great people. So I mean, a great leadership group will lead these young guys the right way, and I think we'll do that.
We'll wrap up with this. What are you going to look forward to over the next couple of weeks, getting ready for the start of the season? What are you looking for from this group?
I just want to start on time. I mean, we got a lot of great skill, and and work hard. I want them to work hard. Yeah, I mean, if we do those 2 things, I think we'll be a great team, and we'll surprise some teams this year for sure.
Howdy, thanks for this. Good luck.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Moncton. Tim Roselle with you, bringing you the first intermission of a 1-0 Acadie-Bathurst Titan lead over the Moncton Wildcats. Goal came with just under 7 minutes to go in that opening period. We'll run through the summary in a moment. Time to take a look around the queue for this afternoon. 3 other games in QMJHL Pre-Season action. There is one final already. That's in Cape Breton, where the Eagles fell 5-4 to St. John. That game in a shootout. There's one other game underway so far. It's late in the first period, where Gatineau and Drummondville are scoreless. And another game coming up later on. That's Sherbrooke at Blainville-Boisbriand. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final goes tonight as well. Out in the Edmonton bubble, Dallas Stars taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Back here at Avenir Center in Moncton, it's 1-0 Teton. Let's take a look at the summaries. We get set for the second period. Only that one goal to talk about. With just under 7 minutes to go, Ben Allison carried the puck in on the right wing side, cut to the middle with it, and then ripped a wrist shot past the blocker. Of goaltender Dakota Lund Cornish to give the Teton a 1-0 lead. Allison's 5th goal of the preseason from Marc-Andre Gaudette. At 13-18, that was the only goal of the period. Shots in the period were 11-8 in favor of the Teton. Both teams had power plays in that opening period. Neither team could score while a man up. In fact, Bathurst's goal came 12 seconds after they had killed off their only penalty of the game. Want to say a quick hello to Brent DeBourne, Wildcats #1 fan, watching today in Moncton. Had a good chat with Brent yesterday. And he, like many, are looking forward to the start of the upcoming season for sure. Also want to say hi to the Wildcats' own J-Bone, Jonathan Henry, who's watching back at home with Peter and Shirley as well in Dieppe. You can send me a tweet. Tell me where you're watching from today. I'd love to hear from you. My Twitter handle is at Tim G. Rosell. That's at TIMGROSZELL. Second period underway now with the Wildcats skating left to right. It's Tristan DeYoung with a pass up the middle. Deflected away by Larkin. Teton couldn't find it for a moment. Now Kidney regroups with Larkin. That around right side to Gagne, got it to the line, held in on a nice play by Olsen. Puck was bouncing, Cloutier couldn't settle it. De Gagne in through the middle, wrist shot, deflected wide by Dakota Lund Cornish. Teton to the line now, McCormick left point, right point for Larkin, he'll roll it in around the net. Centering feed comes back to the line, one-time chance by McCormick, missed the net. Poked out to center nicely by Cloutier. Here's Jacob Hudson. He's in across the line. Has a trailer joining him. That's Cloutier. Back pass in front of the net. Stammer couldn't settle that one. It was about shin high. Wildcats have started a change here. Daou has come over the boards to join the attack. Tied up along the wall with De Gagne. Cloutier still in there. This is Cloutier coming away with it. Mathis Cloutier behind the goal. Trying to muscle around the net. Feeds right point for Olsen. Connor Olsen with a wrist shot. Stopped and held by Tommy De Silva. Lots of traffic in front of the net. And credit De Silva with tracking that puck well and allowing no rebound. Faceoff will be to De Silva's right. It'll be Philip Daou against David Doucette. Daou wanted it kicked in on goal. Deflected away by De Silva. Sean Stewart up from the left point, kept it in, fires a low, sharp angle shot, caught ankle high by De Silva with that left-hand catching glove. Much like the Wildcats, the Teton are waiting for an import goaltender to join their training camp. It was second overall pick in the 2020 import draft, Jan Bednar from the Czech Republic. He's a highly touted prospect for the 2020 NHL draft, but he, like most of the other European players who were expected to come over to the CHL this year, have had their travel plans delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Gaudette, left side of his own zone, got this off the glass and down the ice. This is going to be an icing call against Bathurst. But the Teton have high hopes for him. Faceoff will be to De Silva's left. Tomasini will take it for Moncton against Doucette. Tomasini won it. Quickly, Dominic LeBlanc fires. Nice glove stop by De Silva. He'll hang on as Gaudette and MacArthur collide, and both of them go down. Quick change here by Mario DeRoche, longtime QMJHL coach. Wildcats will keep their same group on. Tomasini is going to take the draw again, this time against Andrews. And it's controlled by Bathurst. McKinney whips it around near side. It's not out. Dubé gave it to Andrews. He'll get it to center. The right side, Yannick Bastarash got it into the right corner of the Moncton zone. Puck comes in front. Chance for Dubé. Shot right on, and a nice stop by Lund Cornish there. We're just past the 2-minute mark in the second period. Tim Roselle with you live from Avenir Center in Moncton. Final home preseason game of 2020 for Moncton. Jacob Stewart takes this face-off to the left of Lund Cornish. He won it. Wildcats have trouble grabbing possession. Sharp-angled chance. Bastarash goes right on it. A good save, Lund Cornish. Now it's centered, stumbling backwards was Dubé. That allows the Wildcats to carry a 4-man rush to center. Stewart right side with a pass in front. Blocked nicely by Sam McKinney. Casey behind the net. To the left point, Palat. Cross ice, Tristan DeYoung. Rister in front, deflected in on goal. Nice save to Silva. Rebound is poked out to center. Langlois inside his own line. For DeYoung, that pass goes astray, ends up in front of the Moncton bench. Langlois pounces on it quickly. Francis Langlois, nice pass in front. DeYoung couldn't get a shot away. It rolled in on goal. Tipped away by De Silva, and the Tetons get it out. Shot back in deep by Olsen. And behind his own net, Carter Ansems has it for the Tetons. Waiting for Huckins to circle in front of him. Now feeds the right side. That's McKinney. Banked that off the boards to center. It's gloved down by Olsen, but stolen. Huckins now right side. Marcotti in front. Rumsey had his stick lifted. It's poked loose into the slot. Wildcats will clear it out. Daou, right wing pass for LeBlanc goes too far. LaBelle can't handle it either. Here's Huckins with it again. Left wing pass too far for Marcotti. McCormick backs up with it inside his own zone. McCormick, the Woodstock native. Gives off to Larkin. Now to Huckins on the left wing side. Huckins' pass in front deflects to the line and comes out to neutral ice. 4 minutes gone here in the second period. Shots in the game now 15-14 in favor of Bathurst. They lead 1-0. Good play by Hudson to lift the stick of Huckins. Jacob Hudson the other way. Goes left side. Stammer pass back in front. Hudson good to get a stick on that. Quickly Rumsey the other way for Bathurst. Going wide left. The Newfoundlander can't get a shot away. Spence for Hudson and back to Jordan Spence, the LA Kings prospect. Shoots it down into the left wing corner. It'll bounce in behind the net. McKinney lost the handle on it. Cloutier grabs it for Moncton. Turns and centers it in front. Knocked away by De Silva's stick. Now a sharp angle shot is stopped. Chisholm on the rebound will feed Riley Kidney. Younger brother of Eagles forward Liam Kidney centers it in front just out of the reach of Chisholm. Hudson banks this one high off the boards. It'll bounce down at center. Cloutier unable to get a stick on that. Now Stammer has it for Moncton. Owen Stammer regroups it back inside his own line for Berube. Spence on the right side. His pass ahead looking for Cloutier goes too far. It's icing against Moncton. A little bit of a delayed reaction there from the officials in blowing that play dead. But it is a whistle and a face-off coming down in the Moncton zone. One 0 Bathurst in front. Ben Allison has the only goal of the game. Came back with under 7 minutes to go in the first period. Jacob Hudson will take the draw to Lund Cornish's left against Kidney. Kidney won it cleanly. Quick wrist shot. Doesn't get through. It ended up deflecting up and out of play. And now the Wildcats can change their line after that icing call. Forced the Hudson unit to stay out a little bit longer. Jacob Stewart will come in to take the draw now against Kidney. Again to Dakota Lund Cornish's left. And Kidney won another one. Ansom's at the left point. Got off balance, threw it in front. Stumbling down there was Stewart. Now a sharp angle chance to Gagne, and he missed the net. Chipped out to center by Francis Langlois. Gaudette and Chisholm. Long pass ahead on the right side. That's to Gagne. Trying to get wide on Pavan. Pavan knocked him down. Palat frees for Jacob Stewart. Left wing pass goes to Casey. Looking over to the right side for Langlois. That's tipped away. Palat for Pavan. Up the middle, Casey. Little knife pass to Langlois. Now Jacob Stewart tried to return it to Langlois. That doesn't materialize. Gaudette steps up left side of center. Got it to the Moncton line. It's bounced back ahead by the Wildcats. Play a little choppy here. DeGagne brings it in on the left wing side. Both teams changing. McKinney feeds on the right wing. This is Riley Kidney. Kidney down low. MacArthur centering in front. Stumbling down with a quick chance. Kidney right on. Down is Lund Cornish to make a nice stop and hold for a whistle. He had no idea where it was, but it was underneath him. Shots here in the second period favor the Wildcats so far, 7-6. Teton with a 17-15 advantage in the game. Still 1-0 Bathurst, though. Daou just beat the goal scorer Allison on that faceoff. Played around on the near boards. MacArthur holds it in. Backhand shot. He lifted it over the net. Now MacArthur in the right corner. Got it back to the line. Poking at it. Loshing not able to clear it. Daou with another chance. Lost it. Allison at the line. Finally, on the third chance, it's Daou getting it out. Loshing battling for it. It skips into the high slot. Daou had a man open in the left circle. That was Bernier. Couldn't get it to him. Spence now works down toward the left corner. Feeds the line. Sean Stewart wrist shot. That sailed high and wide. Don't think De Silva saw that until the last second. MacArthur the other way. Pass into the middle. Allison bumped off the puck by Spence. Spence has Bernier open on the right side. Gabriel Bernier with a pass in front. Intercepted. Teton get it out. MacArthur for Allison on the right wing. Goes cross ice with a pass. That's tipped up and out of play by Jordan Spence. We have 12:45 to go in the second period. Remains a 1-0 Teton lead. Face off to the left of Dakota Lund Cornish, the 20-year-old Moncton goaltender. Vinny LaBelle won that one. Wildcats do not clear it, though. Puck bounces down side of the net. Down on all fours is Lund Cornish to smother that. So another face-off in the Moncton zone. Vinny LaBelle played in the Central Canadian Hockey League, Junior A level last year with the Rockland Nationals. 18 goals, 35 points in 54 games. He just won the faceoff, but it's stolen quickly. Bastarash looking to center, hit the side of the net with it. DeYoung for Tomasini, got it out to center ice. Pass hit the linesman. It's fed over to the left wing. Olsen will send a long shoot in right on goal. De Silva had to be careful with that. Now LaBelle steals it in the left corner. Vinny LaBelle tied up defensively by McCormick. Tomasini is there as well. Tyson Tomasini battling for it. Champagne able to work it loose. It comes to the line. Long shot. Sails high and wide. That off the stick of Olsen. Alexi Dubé will get it out to center. It's fed off the boards. Back into the Bathurst zone. McCormick with it again. Feeds Dubé on the left wing. He couldn't handle the pass. Hudson has it go off of his stick, and McCormick floats it high over to the right corner of the Moncton zone. Olsen leaves it there for Tristan DeYoung. Banked ahead on the left side, and Dominic LeBlanc gets it out. 8 minutes and change gone here in the second period. 1-0 Bathurst. It's fed inside the Teton zone. Ansoms bumped off the puck, but Wildcats were still in a delayed offside. They couldn't play it. Now it's fed down to the Moncton blue line. Olsen for Tristan DeYoung. His pass ahead deflected high, and too high, in fact, as it gets over the glass into the netting in the left wing corner of the Teton zone. going to mark the face-off right at center ice. It'll be Jacob Hudson taking it for the Wildcats against Cole Huckins, one of 2 first-round picks for the Teton back in 2019. Wildcats won it. Here is Hudson on the right side. Pass in front, deflected wide. Cloutier got a little stick on that, but couldn't direct it toward the net. Huckins now leads a 3-man rush the other way. He's across the line on the right wing. Pass for the trailer Marcotti, and a great play by Cloutier defensively to break that up. Now Hudson brings it in, trying to slip through the defense. He does, and he scores! Jacob Hudson with a determined effort splits the defense, and then as he's falling forward, dekes to his forehand and tucks it inside the left post to tie this game at 1. What a goal by Jacob Hudson. (9:12) the time of the goal. Look at it on the replay here. He was being hampered defensively by Marc-Andre Gaudette, but still, as he was falling forward, was able to make the move and got it inside the left post on Tommy De Silva. Beautiful goal by Jacob Hudson, scoring a Jacob Hudson type of goal. A real hard-working play to split the defense. Now here come the Wildcats again. Nathan Casey into the middle. Stewart had it hop over his stick. Back the other way. Kidney's going to try and break in. Kidney on the left side. Tied up defensively. Good play by Francis Langlois. Over comes Jeremy Berube. Teton had the puck and passed it in front, but it goes all the way back into the Bathurst zone. 9:12 the time of the goal for Hudson that ties this game here in the second period. 1-1 now as we've just passed the halfway mark. McKinney with a pass for DeGagne. In on the left wing. Couldn't get around Spence. Spence takes the body on him. Shoveled it around the goal. Sean Stewart ahead on the left wing. That's off Daou's stick, but it's going to go down the ice. Icing call against the Wildcats here. Jacob Hudson, I think it's fair to say, would be looking for a bit of a bounce back year offensively. 8 goals, 22 points in 63 games a year ago as we get Nicholas Sheehan coming on to replace Dakota Lund Cornish here past the halfway mark in the second period. We'll give you Sheehan's numbers in just a moment. Face off to his left. Controlled by Bathurst. Centering feed Allison. That's broken up. 4 Wildcats to center now, led by Daou on the left wing. His pass in front, blocked by Larkin. Allison can't get it out. Larkin will whip it cross ice. It's kept in by Loshing. Loshing unable to get around McCormick. Spence moves up from the right point. Jordan Spence now to the line. Daou got away from MacArthur. Drops back to Spence. Jordan Spence into the right corner. Daou back to Spence. One-timer right on stop. Rebound off the outside of the goal from Bernier. Bernier now plays it around the net, but Stewart had moved to the middle of the ice. It comes out on those left wing boards. Sean Stewart now settles back behind his own net with it. Hudson's second goal of the preseason. Mathis Cloutier, the only assist on it as this one goes down the ice. Another icing call coming here against Moncton. So Nicholas Sheehan in the game, the 16-year-old. He will turn 17 in November. 4th preseason game for him. He's 1-0 so far with a 3.0 goals against average and a .900 save percentage. Allowed 1 goal on 13 shots in 20 minutes. Sorry, check that for Sheehan. 5th game of the preseason for him. He's 1-1 so far with a 5.0 goals against average. He allowed 6 goals on 20 shots in 40 minutes of action in the loss against Cape Breton last Sunday. Jordan Spence settles in behind his own goal now. Steps to the left and starts up the middle with it. On the right side of the red line, he'll dump it in around the goal. Tomasini after it for Moncton. Bunts it back behind the goal. Andrews with a chance to clear. He cannot. Now a sharp angle chance. Misses the net. Bastarash got it to center ice. Went off of DeYoung's stick. Olsen has it now for the Wildcats. Cross ice for LaBelle. He'll get it out to center. Shot back into the Moncton zone. Another player in on a free agent tryout for the Wildcats. Connor Olsen lifts it off the boards and out. Back inside the Moncton line. Puck bouncing here by DeYoung. He's able to get it out. LeBlanc in front. LaBelle one-handed it in on goal. Nice stop by De Silva, and the rebound went off of Godet and wide of the net. Now Bastarash with a chance to get it out for Bathurst. Got it ahead to Dubé on the right wing side. Dubé will work it into the corner. He and DeYoung both overskate the puck. Tomasini starts out. Left wing pass goes to Mathis Cloutier. Nice move inside on his man. Olsen looking in front. Cloutier can't get a shot away. Huckins will knife it to the line. It's held in by Hudson. Whipped around the goal. Hinckley after it. Bodied, lost the puck. Stammer in the corner. Sends Hinckley sprawling. Cloutier has it for Moncton. He can't center it though. Chipped in behind the net. Rumsey will reverse it. Sam McKinney with some room. McKinney will start ahead quickly. Right wing pass. That's Marcotti getting it ahead into the Moncton zone. Wildcats get it back. Cloutier's behind the defenseman. Got a shot away. Nice pad save by De Silva. But we've got a penalty call coming up here against the Titans. And for the second time in the game, Lane Hinckley is headed to the penalty box. It's another holding call against him as well. 13:31 the time of this call. Wildcats are 0 for 1 on the power play in the game. 1-1 your score now. Wildcats have overtaken Bathurst in the shot on goal category at 19-18 at the moment. Spence will start ahead for the Wildcats. Wanted to carry it in, but LeBlanc was in ahead of the play. Now he feeds Loshing. Johan Loshing wrists it around the goal. LeBlanc tied up on the boards, lost it to Gagne with a chance to clear. Chisholm can't get it out. Now it deflects off of Spence to the line. Chisholm has it go off his glove. And it is out. Could be a break shorthanded. De Gagne with room right side. Cut to the net and then got hampered by Bernier and lost the puck before he could get a shot. Good play by Bernier there to disrupt his man enough to not take a penalty call. Daou with a swing back for Spence. He'll carry through the middle. Right side pass goes to LeBlanc. Tried to thread it through the middle. That's broken up. Unable to clear on the first try, MacArthur, but he is able to get it out on the second chance. Puck stolen here. Kidney looking to center. He does. MacArthur scores. Bennett MacArthur, after Nicholas Sheehan came out of the goal to play it. Sheehan turned it over behind his own net. Kidney was there, threw it in front, and MacArthur rifles it in blocker side past Sheehan to give the Tetons the lead again. It's 2-1. Good look at it on the replay there after the turnover by Sheehan. So it'll go as a shorthanded goal. The Wildcats still have 50 seconds left on their man advantage opportunity. But now they're looking to tie the game again. Hudson into the left corner with it. Jacob Hudson banks it back to the left point. Cloutier gives to DeYoung. Now Tomasini right side. Whips a wrist shot toward the goal that went off. Hudson and wide. Cloutier's pass is stolen. Here comes Kidney shorthanded with MacArthur again. Kidney waiting into the slot. Got hooked up a bit. Penalty coming up. Shot is wide, and now as Tomasini touches up, the play will be called, and it'll be Cloutier going off. Hooking the call against Mathis Cloutier, so that negates the final 18 seconds of the Hinckley penalty call. We'll play 4-on-4 for that amount of time. And then the Tetons will get their second power play of the afternoon, barring any other penalty calls. Wildcats control off the draw. Loshing carries to center. Had it knocked off of his stick at the red line. Now he's tied up in front of his bench. Steps away with it. Muscles inside the line. He got knocked down, though. David Doucette will carry ahead to center. Hinckley is about to step out of the box. Here he comes. Teton are on the power play as Hinckley scampers across the ice to the bench. Minute 35 left in the penalty to Cloutier here. 4:17 to go in the second period. 2-1 Bathurst in front. MacArthur's first goal of the preseason, a shorthanded goal, has put Bathurst back in front. McCormick, left point, goes cross ice. McKinney trying to slip away from his man Stewart. Gives off to Rumsey. Wrist shot is blocked. Another chance. Sean Stewart can't find it. Jacob Stewart does, and he'll clear it out. McCormick at his own line with it. Waiting for teammates to change. Feeds it in front of his bench for DeGagne, who's fresh. Matthew DeGagne with a pass deflected by Jacob Stewart. Langlois gloves it down. Wildcats can't clear it, though. DeGagne knocked to his knees. Stays with it, though. Now it deflects in front. Jacob Stewart will send a one-timer down the ice. Puck is stolen here. It's a 2-on-0. Langlois left side in front. Great save by De Silva. And the Tetons have it back. That long shoot-in by Langlois, kicked away by De Silva, but then none of the Teton players came back to get it. Created another great chance for himself. Now MacArthur, cross ice, Rumsey. Takes it off a skate, turns, centers, McKinney, wrist shot is blocked. Marcotti centering in front. Tied up there is Bernier. Hudson will take it the other way. Jacob Hudson trying to race in. He's forced down to the left corner by McKinney. Hudson now trying to shield it from McKinney. Penalty to Cloutier is over. McKinney takes the puck away. 2:40 to go, second period. It's 2-1 Bathurst. Tim Roselle with you. Live at Avenir Center in Moncton. Final home game of the preseason for the Wildcats here. McKinney with a long pass for Felix-Antoine Marcotti, the ex-Chicoutimi Saguenay. Shot down into the Moncton zone. Sheehan gave it to Pavan, and around the net, this is Charles-Antoine Palat. He'll settle in behind his own goal. Gives way now to Philip Daou. Daou with some speed to center. Brings it in on the left side. Had the puck skip off of his stick into the corner. Now he's taken down by Larkin there. Chance for Andrews to carry it out to center ice. Dylan Andrews, the rookie, brings it in left side, shoots, pad save, big rebound, scores. Dylan Champagne, after the initial shot from Andrews was stopped. Champagne on the backhand, beats Sheehan blocker side, and it's a 3-1 game. Teton in front. Watch it on the replay here. The long shot was stopped by Sheehan, but he left a rebound right in the slot. And on the backhand, it was Dylan Champagne who puts that one home. Dylan Andrews will get an assist for sure. We'll wait to see if there's another one. So it's a two-goal game now. Teton in front 3-1. Jordan Spence will flip it high to center. Could be a break for LaBelle. Vinny LaBelle in alone, shooting, stopped by De Silva. Puck skipped up high, and he's able to smother it before LaBelle could get another chance. Face-off is to De Silva's right. Won by Moncton. Long wrister off the backboards. Jacob Stewart able to corral it there. Stewart had his stick tied up by Doucette. Now MacArthur ahead quickly. This is Allison. Back to MacArthur, right side with room. Shooting off the crossbar. Whoa, did Bennett MacArthur ever get some mustard on that one? And it comes out to center ice. We're in the final minute now of period number 2. Here come the Teton. McCormick for Larkin, right wing side, ahead to MacArthur. He'll dump it in deep. Sheehan out of the goal. Shoveled it to Spence, who will send it back around the net. Jeremy Berube has Loshing open on the left side. Got to the red line, but no further. Had it taken away by DeGagne. Now Kluche for Loshing. Unable to muscle it inside the line. Now it's ripped in deep by Berube. 30 seconds left in the period. McCormick being hounded here by Loshing. Got it ahead to DeGagne on the right wing. Now Doucette brings it in on the left side. Long shot. Scooped away by Nicholas Sheehan. Olsen in behind his own net. Ahead on the right wing for Hudson. Up the middle, Loshing is across the line. Dangles past McCormick into the right corner. Final 6 seconds of the period. As the puck is grabbed by McKinney. And he'll throw this one out to center ice. That will do it for period number 2. So a couple of late goals here in the second period for the Acadie-Bathurst Titan. One by Bennett MacArthur, short-handed. The other by Dylan Champagne at even strength. Have turned what was a 1-1 game into a 3-1 Acadie-Bathurst Titan lead. Coming up here in our second intermission, we're going to have my conversation with Dominic LeBlanc, the Moncton Wildcats rookie forward. We'll talk to him about how he managed his way through the pandemic and what he was hoping to accomplish in training camp this year, what he was going to try to show the coaches to prove to them that he deserved to be with the Wildcats this year. All that and more coming up with Dominic LeBlanc in a few moments. Then we'll come back. We'll run through the scoring summary and set up period 3. We'll also go around the Q once again with 3 other games on the schedule in the Q preseason this afternoon. 3-1 Titan with the lead over the Wildcats here at Avenir Center in Moncton. You're watching live coverage of Moncton Wildcats 2020 Kent Holmes training camp action.
In a nutshell, the main reaction we get when people get to actually walk through our model homes is, wow. They sort of come in with a preconceived notion. Oftentimes we'll have one member of a spouse maybe stay in the car because they're adamant that they don't want a trailer. Once they actually take the time to come in and educate themselves on the construction and the energy efficiency, and then actually get to walk through and see the beauty and the workmanship in our homes, they have a complete 360 change of heart.
Today's mini home is a completely different home than something that was built even 20 years ago, let alone even 10 years ago.
A lot of the conversations revolve around the construction standards and how many homes today are built to the same National Building Code standard as any other house in Canada, that you can mortgage them over 25 years. So if the most conservative people, the bankers, feel that that value will still be there at the end of a 25-year amortization, that gives a lot of peace of mind to our home buyers, knowing that the homes will appreciate.
A buying experience usually starts with a customer wherever they're living today realizing something's not right here. I need to make a change. And then that's quickly followed by fear. Well, how am I going to do it? Can I do it? Am I going to get turned down? I can't afford anything. They're going to laugh at me if I walk into somebody's place to buy a house.
That's been our slogan since Havel's been his inception back in 1953. Why pay rent when you can own for less? So nowadays, especially here in the Halifax Regional Municipality, apartment rents are quite expensive. So a lot of people are intimidated to even look into housing options because they think, my goodness, if I'm spending $1,600 a month in rent, I can't imagine what a mortgage payment would be. So a lot of times they're really pleasantly surprised when they actually take the time to come in and sit down with us and get some information and realize that they could own a home for half of that and start investing into their own equity and start building in towards their own investment portfolio rather than paying off a landlord's mortgage payment.
What I like is taking a customer that sooner or later they think, well, I've got to go in and talk to somebody. They walk in the door and we take the time to reassure them that we're here to help you. We're going to help guide you through this process.
We can help them secure a mortgage pre-approval. We can go over all those numbers and see what's comfortable for them. If it's a matter of sort of helping them figure out a way to save up for a down payment, we've got different ways of doing that as well. And a lot of times home buyers are really excited to know that there's a lot of incentives available for first-time home buyers or for new construction as well. So we're seeing a large growth in the market for downsizers. A lot of the baby boomers now that have children that maybe have moved out and are left with these great big homes that are just too much to maintain, and they're coming in and they're seasoned homeowners, so it's a different kettle of fish altogether working with someone who's had 3 or 4 homes. They know exactly what they want, and having, you know, features like the 36-inch doors, interior and exterior, and having these really high-end finishes inside and out, and having a home that they can be proud of just as much as that first-time home buyer.
Some of our clients, they want to live on their own land. Maybe they have a family homestead or something that they get a piece of that they want to locate on. We're more than happy to do that for them. The majority of our clients, they come here and they don't really know where they're going to live. When people move into an existing community that's on a bus route, close to the retail centers, closer to work like Burnside or Bayers Lake, the resales and the sale times tend to be they sold for more money and quicker sale times because they're in more convenient locations. So my dad's philosophy, early philosophy, is to keep it simple for our clients. We take the time to find out which homes are selling the most and why.
66 years of being in business has taught us a thing or two, and I sort of equate it to kind of like a snowball effect. Every time we sell a home, we learn something new.
Rather than asking a person who has maybe never designed a house in their life to design a house all of a sudden, there's a lot of chance that things are going to go wrong. On the other hand, if we have a home that's set up on location, that they can walk in and say, yeah, I like this. I like how my furniture can fit in here. They can visually move themselves in, and then when they take delivery, there are no surprises. In the end, we have a happier customer. Part of the privilege of owning Havel's, what it has been for me is the day that they get the keys and they walk into their own home. It's their home for the first time. They own their home. This dream has come to reality. That's another big wow factor for me.
Welcome back to the intermission of today's game between the Moncton Wildcats and the Acadie-Bathurst Titan. Tim Roselle, very pleased to be joined by Moncton Wildcats rookie forward Dominic LeBlanc. Dominic, talk about training camp so far. Obviously, it would be different than just about any other training camp that you had been to. What's it been like?
I mean, it's been short, so it's been high-intensity practice, high-intensity game. You know, a lot of hard work, and you know, with the short time that we had this year compared to last year, I mean, it's just been a grind.
Well, let's wind the clock back a little bit. Last year you were with the Moncton Flyers, a midget AAA hockey team. Great season for you there and a great season for the team overall. The pandemic interrupted everything, obviously, but tell me about last year.
I mean, we were a young but skilled team. You know, a lot of players that played with the Flyers that was going to play in the Q this year. We had a really good, solid team, a deep team, all 4 lines, forward, defense, good year, and it's unfortunate that the season got cut short, but I mean, it is what it is.
You had 24 goals last year as part of your team's offense. What made you such a great contributor to that club?
I mean, you know, coming last year to camp, I think it boosted my confidence when I got back to midget. You know, trying to keep the puck to my sticks, make plays, and you know, just playing with confidence helped me a lot to score goals.
Yeah, let's expand on that a little bit more. Talk about your experience at training camp last year and what it meant going into the season last year with the Flyers.
I mean, I had a good training camp last year. For my first training camp, I was pretty pleased. So unfortunately, I didn't make the team, but I mean, they had a good team. So, and to go back midget after camp, I mean, just having the experience of playing the Q and, you know, having a little taste of it, it helped a lot for midget.
So, were you able to keep your off-season routine fairly regular, considering all the restrictions and everything that would have been in place?
Yeah, it was really good. I've been training with Rick Lejeune and some other guys for the past 4 years, and this year was in Dieppe, and we were in the rink for off ice every day. So not really much that changed since the pandemic, so it was pretty good.
Was there anything in particular you wanted to work on, anything you were focused on in the offseason?
I think just putting body mass on, like weight. I was kind of skinny last year, try to get weight on for this year, and trying to keep up with the older guys.
So coming into camp this year, I mean, there are never any guarantees, and there's still some roster finalizing to go here, but what do you think you did in training camp this year, and even last year leading into this year, that put you on the coaches and management radar and got them to to think that you were going to be a key contributor on this club this year?
I think just hard work, hard on pucks, trying to get pucks on my stick more often I can, just trying to play my game, make plays, find my teammates, and contribute on the offensive.
Has there been a moment in training camp or even in the preseason games so far where you felt like, yeah, you know what, I belong here, I can contribute, I can be a key player?
I think after the first game, I had a pretty solid game, and the next game after that, I played pretty good too. So I was happy with the results, and I'm here so far. So far so good.
All right, so just a couple of weeks left before the regular season begins. What do you want to do in the next 2 weeks to continue to get yourself ready for when that puck drops in early October?
Trying to get in the gym as often as I can, and work hard in practice. We practice every day, so trying to get better every day, and can't wait till the regular season starts.
Does it mean something extra special for you knowing that you're with essentially your hometown team here?
Yeah, it's really special. I mean, I've been watching them since I was a young boy, so it's really exciting getting drafted by them, and playing here this year. Hopefully, it's going to be awesome.
Dominic, congratulations. Thanks for this. Good luck.
Thanks.
People do come in all the time with something that they've seen either online or on TV that they'd like to incorporate into their home. My name is Jay Richards. I'm located in Bridgewater, Nova Scotia, and I'm the owner of the Home Centre. Certainly the benefit of a manufactured home is it's quite easy for me to provide an accurate price on the home itself, a price that isn't going to change. In terms of construction, they're built in a controlled environment. All the materials are not out in the rain on a constant basis. There's checks throughout the entire process. They're designed to either meet or exceed all local and national code standards. They're all certainly backed up by good warranty. Having a firm move-in date is very important. A lot of clients, they need to be out of perhaps their current home at a certain period of time. They need to be certain that they're going to be able to be in their new home. That's certainly the case. When we give you a date that we can commit to, we're able to deliver on it. In terms of flexibility and customizability, certainly there are kind of base plans to start off with, but we can modify and make design changes virtually in any regard that you might want. You may have a custom plan in mind that you can bring to us, and we'll be able to work with that. There's really no limit to the options. A lot of people will enjoy the choosing of the colors, designing their bathroom. Perhaps they've been online and seen a lot of different trends that they're wishing to incorporate.
Welcome back to Moncton. Tim Roselle with you, bringing you the second intermission of a 3-1 Acadie-Bathurst Titan lead over the Moncton Wildcats. It was a 1-0 Titan lead after one. Moncton tied it midway through the second, but then a couple of late goals for Bathurst in that second period put them in front by 2. We'll run through the scoring summary in just a moment. Time to take another quick look around the queue. With 3 other games in the preseason today, there is one final from earlier. St. John beat Cape Breton 5-4 in a shootout. Or after 2 periods in Drummondville, the Voltigeurs lead Gatineau 1-0, and it's 1-1 Sherbrooke and Blainville-Boisbriand. Well, here at Avenir Center, it's 3-1 Teton in front of the Wildcats. Let's take a look at the scoring summary as we get set for this third period. There's only one goal in the opening frame. It came with under 7 minutes to go in that first period. And it came only 12 seconds after Bathurst killed their only penalty of the period. It was Ben Allison carrying the puck in on the right wing side. He cut to the middle and then rifled a wrist shot past the blocking arm of Dakota Lund Cornish in the Moncton goal. Give Allison his 5th goal of the preseason. Marc-Andre Gaudette the only assist on the goal at 13-18. It was 1-0 Bathurst. Into the second period we go. Shots on goal in the first, by the way, were 11-8 in favor of the Titans. Into the second period we go, just shy of the midway mark. Jacob Hudson on a beautiful solo effort tied the game as he came in, split the Bathurst defense, and then as he was being knocked down forward and sprawling toward his belly, he ended up deking his way past goaltender Tommy De Silva, tucking it inside the left post. Tie things up at 1. Hudson's second of the preseason from Mathis Kluche. At 9:12 of the second period, tied things up 1-1 your score at that point. Just past the midway mark of the period, the Wildcats switched their goaltender, and Nicholas Sheehan came on in relief of Dakota Lund-Cornish. Then the Tetons scored shorthanded. Bennett MacArthur, his first from Kidney and De Silva at 14:35, made it 2-1. And then at 18:08, it was Dylan Champagne with his first from Dylan Andrews, making it a 3-1 hockey game. We are underway now in the third period. Shots in the second were 15-11 in favor of the Wildcats, 23-22 in favor of Moncton in terms of shots through 40 minutes. Wildcats on the attack in the offensive zone, slashing at the puck. Hudson got it high on the glass in the corner. Daou was tied up. MacArthur with a chance to clear. He does get it to center. Doucette turned it over at the red line. Olsen gives way to Daou. Tried to slip inside on Larkin and mishandled the puck. Allison will send it the other way. Play doesn't work at the Moncton line. Now Vinny LaBelle with it in on the left wing side. Pass in front, Langlois deflected that in behind the goal. LaBelle's pass to the line, poke checked away nicely by Marcotti. And out to center ice. It'll come down into the Moncton zone. Sheehan out of the net to whip it ahead quickly. Mathis Kluche on it for Moncton as Dan Lacroix is shaking up his lines here to start the third. Left in front, LaBelle fires, and De Silva got a blocker on that. Now it's centered. LaBelle fired that one wide. Spence gets it back of the net. Kluche centering. Deflects to the line. Sean Stewart with a wrist shot. Hit Hinckley in front. LaBelle on the backhand. Has to settle it in the corner. Now has it stolen by McKinney. Got it behind the net. Puck was hit with a high stick by Moncton. The Teton play it, so play will continue. This is flipped out and down the ice. It's going to roll right on goal, and down to his left knee is Nicholas Sheehan to smother that and hang on. Before we get too much further in the third period, want to say a quick hello to Jamie Hadley and the Hadley family. Billet home of Tyson Tomasini. They're watching the game this afternoon, along with Veronique Arsenault. She's watching today as well. Eric Simpson watching in Florida. Thank you for tuning in. Nicholas Pavan behind his own net for Charles-Antoine Palat. Got it up the right side with room. Bernier moving in, shooting. That went off the top of the stick of De Silva and wide. Pavan held it in briefly. Now it's knifed out and down the ice. Icing waved off as Sheehan comes out of the goal to play it. He couldn't handle it. It ended up in the no zone. He has to retreat to the goal. Now a long, sharp angle shot is deflected up and out of play by Nicholas Sheehan. Also want to say hi to Sherry Gillum and Brent watching at the camper. Thank you for tuning in today. And Nathaniel and Milan watching as well. Thank you for joining me. Face off to Sheehan's right. Won by Bathurst. Long shot. Missed the net. Dominic LeBlanc knifes that one to the line. Not a long shot. Bounced down off a stick, and then Sheehan had to come up with a stop on that one. Puck in front of the goal. Kidney can't get it to settle. And Jacob Stewart has control. Threw it up the middle for LeBlanc. It's off of his stick. Came out to neutral ice. Played back inside the Bathurst zone. And Adam McCormick will get away from the forechecking of Owen Stammer. For Kidney on the right wing side. Lost the puck. Bastarash follows up. Works his way in behind the net with it. Got it to the blue line. Wrist shot coming. Glove save by Sheehan. Just past the 3-minute mark now in the third period. 3-1 game, Acadie-Bathurst Titan in front of the Wildcats. Again, Moncton with one more preseason game. It's coming up in St. John on Friday night. Casey will take the draw. No, he won't. He's been thrown out. So Tyson Tomasini will move in on it. To Sheehan's right. It's won, though, by Dylan Andrews. Ansems couldn't keep it in, though. Bathurst have to regroup down at their own line. Godette for Carter Ansems. Banked it off the boards and out. Dubé threw it over to the right wing side. Nobody there. Dubé will chase it down himself. Alexi Dubé bumped off the puck in behind the goal by Spence. Tomasini can't clear it. Now it is chopped to center by Jeremy Berube. Shot down into the Moncton zone. Out of the net, Sheehan backhands it around the net. Helped along by Spence. Wildcats don't get it out, though. Now Spence with it. Chased behind his own goal. Got away from the forechecker Andrews and carries to center. Dishes off on the right side. Tomasini with a sharp angle shot. It's deflected behind the goal. Berube leaves for Stammer. He'll back up to the line with it. Owen Stammer fakes. Tried to saucer it over to the right wing side. It hopped over the stick of Spence. Casey in the corner is stood up by Ansem. Still stays with it. Got it to the line. Long shot. Stopped by De Silva. Didn't know where the rebound was. It was deflected wide. Comes back to Spence again. One-timer. Deflected. Scores! Jordan Spence with the shot from the right point. I think Berube may have gotten a stick on this. And deflected it upwards past goaltender Tommy De Silva. It's a 3-2 game. See if we can see on the replay here. Puck went back to the line. Berube then to the front of the net. Oh yeah, he definitely got the toe of his stick on it. Beautiful deflection and not an easy one either. Great job by Berube there. So now the Wildcats are back to within one. Puck loose in front of the net. Daou tied up there defensively by Allison. Teton with a chance to get it out. It's Allison right wing side. Throws it over in front of the Moncton bench. Bennett MacArthur bumped off the puck and now knocked down by Palat. Sean Stewart for Johan Loshing, the Wildcats' first-round pick of 2020. Pass through center. Goes down deep. No icing here. Hinckley will turn. Gave it to MacArthur left side. Pass ahead. Batted out of the air by Doucette. It'll go down into the Moncton zone. Olsen crunched as he moved it around the goal for DeYoung. Now LaBelle. His pass looking for Langlois goes too far. David Doucette, the ex-Eagle. Bumped it center ice. Here comes LaBelle across the line. Winds and slaps. Glove stop by De Silva there. He will hang on. Jeremy Berube played last year in Thetford Mines of the QCHL. 3 goals, 17 points in 30 games. He had played one game with the Wildcats in his career to that point. It was a playoff game in 2018-19, so the 2019 postseason. As we get an offside call at the Moncton line. You recall that playoff run the Wildcats had. They ran into some injury problems on the back end. Berube made one appearance, had a minor penalty, and finished the game +1. But a nice goal by him gets the Wildcats back into this one, his second goal of the preseason. Spence and Casey, by the way, draw the assists on the goal at .417. Huckins turns inside his own line for Ansems. Pass up the right side, tipped into the Moncton zone by Marcotti. Now Sean Stewart loses it. Marcotti centering, puck bouncing. Comes to the line. Huckins held it in. Blind backhander in front. Picked off by Sean Stewart. Ahead to Jacob Stewart on the left wing. His pass went off a stick. Rumsey looking cross ice. Nice play by Spence to intercept. He's across the line. Hounded by Rumsey, but kept it in. Puck chipped high off the glass. Huckins trying to settle it. And finally he does. Throws it right in front of his own net. There's Cole Larkin, former Halifax Mooseheads draft pick. Ahead for Huckins, now left wing side Marcotti, but the play is offside. Mark Rumsey stumbled at the line and could not stay onside. .13:35 to go, third period, 3-2 game. Jeremy Berube, the latest goal scorer for Moncton, 4:17 into the third period. Owen Stammer reaching for it off the draw. It's grabbed by the Teton. They shoot it in. Nicholas Pavan sweeps it back right side to Pilat. Clearing pass batted out of the air by Riley Kidney. They're going to say that was a high stick and bring the faceoff outside the line. Can already see a change in Riley Kidney in the preseason here compared to his rookie year 1 season ago. Looks like a much more confident player with the puck especially. Pilat for Nicholas Pavan. Back to Charles-Antoine Pilat, 17-year-old blue liner from Moncton. Pass ahead for Casey, went too far. Pavan now finds Casey left side. Tried to whip it cross ice. He hit Stammer with it. Pavan has it back at his own line again for Pilat near the Moncton bench. Carries it ahead on the right wing. He'll wrist it around the goal. Stammer after it for Moncton. Chips that one in behind the net. Tomasini had it get past him. It comes back to the line. Held in by DeYoung just briefly. Teton with a chance to clear it. Over skating the puck, though, was McKinney. Teton get away with it as it does come out to center. It's played back in. Wildcats are changing on the fly. Lane Hinckley in behind his own goal. Gives off to Riley Kidney. Charges ahead on the left wing. He's cut off at the red line by Jacob Hudson. Hudson with a hard pass to center. Loshing tipped that. It was intended for Daou. Loshing after it in the right corner now. One-on-one against Cole Larkin. Larkin turned it over. Daou now in the right circle. Gives off to Jacob Hudson. Hudson swings this back to the line. Tristan DeYoung. Left point now. Olsen's wrist shot deflected. Pad saved by De Silva. Now Daou with it for Moncton. Philip Daou for Olsen, left point. Winds and fires. Pad save again. To the line one more time. DeYoung will shoot. That is blocked. Olsen fakes. Connor Olsen onto the left boards. Good pressure by Moncton here. Puck finally stolen by Kidney. He'll flip it high and out as the Teton are in search of some changes. Left wing pass deflected in deep by Johan Loshing. Larkin snaps it around the right side for Champagne. Gave it to Bastarash and he'll get it out. Fed over in front of the Teton bench. Hudson is late in a shift. He'll dump it in deep. He wants to head off as we approach the 9-minute mark here in the third period. Tim Roselle with you live at Avenir Center. Wildcats trail the Teton by a score of 3-2. Dylan Andrews for Bastarash. Bumped off the puck at center. Jeremy Berube for LaBelle. He's across the line. Vinny LaBelle for the trailer. Langlois moves in, shoots. Oh, and De Silva got a piece of that with his right arm and just deflected it wide. Bastarash knocks his man down. Now a sharp angle chance. LaBelle, that missed the net. Langlois holds it in at the right point. Got it in behind the goal. McKinney gets this high off the glass. It'll bounce down the ice. Not enough for icing, though. Jordan Spence, a long feed looking for Cloutier. Did that touch his stick? Yes, it did. No icing here. Fed around the goal. McCormick trying to get away from the forechecker. That's Cloutier. Now around the net, Gaudette. His pass for MacArthur. He didn't see it. It's stolen. Little 2-on-1 here. Centering feed from Bernier looking for LeBlanc. Broken up by McCormick, the lone man back. Now Doucette across the line. Muscles it into the right wing corner. It's poked around the net. Bernier grabbed it for Moncton, gave to Spence, and now Jacob Stewart lugs it ahead on the left wing side. He's got Spence with him. Stewart cross-ice scores! Beautiful pass by Jacob Stewart to a streaking Jordan Spence. And Spence, just off that left post, snaps the one-timer home. And this game is tied at 3. Jordan Spence joined the rush as the third man as Stewart went wide left. And really, Spence didn't even have to move his stick. All he had to do was make sure that it hit the puck. And in it went. Terrific pass by Stewart. And a great goal by Jordan Spence to tie things up. Now Loshing the other way. He's tripped up by Huckins at center ice. We're going to have a Bathurst penalty. And I don't think Huckins realizes it's him. But he's going off. Certainly an accidental trip, but a trip nonetheless. Wildcats to the power play for the third time in the game, with a chance to take the lead now. Moncton 0 for 2, a man up, and they've given up the shorthanded goal to MacArthur. Spence, left side, Daou wrist shot, blocker save to Silva. Rebound batted out of the air by Bernier. They're going to say that's a high stick too, and this comes outside the line. Spence's second goal of the preseason. Jake Stewart the assist on the goal. Back at 9:59. Wildcats control off the draw. Jordan Spence left side of center. Puck skipped on him. He didn't get it in deep. And it's cleared down the ice quickly by Bathurst. Sheehan out of the net will wrist it around the dasher board. It'll come out to center. Johan Loshing on it for Moncton. Got it inside the line, but without control. It's grabbed by Godet. He'll rip it off the glass to neutral ice. Spence through the middle. Knifes it right wing side. Bernier brings it in slowly. Drops off for Mathis Cloutier. We've seen Cloutier play the point on the power play a little bit so far in the preseason. Daou, top of the left circle. Down low, it's centered. Quick shot right on. Nice stop by De Silva off of Johan Loshing there. Loshing right between the circles. Had a point-blank opportunity and a good save by De Silva there. Wildcats already have 11 shots here in the third period. Teton have only 2. Minute 13 to go in the Huckins minor. 3-3 game. Just under 9 minutes to go, third period. Wildcats control off the draw. Tristan DeYoung for Jacob Hudson. It's off of his stick. Kept alive by LeBlanc. Stammer to the line. Hudson had it skip on him. It came outside the line and brought back in. It's offside. So a face-off coming outside the Bathurst blue line. Hudson takes the face-off here, and the Wildcats control. Dominic LeBlanc wrists it in around the goal. Hudson couldn't get it, but Stammer does. Owen Stammer, right circle, side of the net, LaBelle. Now to Hudson, right side, back to the line, one-timer. DeYoung deflected in on goal. Down is De Silva, and he's got that and the rebound too. Good, hard, low shot from Tristan DeYoung there. Vinny LaBelle after the rebound. Stammer may have tipped that initial shot, but a fine save by De Silva there. It'll be Hudson on the draw against Dubé. To De Silva's left. Now Hudson is thrown out, so Stammer has to come in and take it. Dubé won it. Larkin around the net. Bastrash with a chance to clear. He'll send it high and over the head of DeYoung and down the ice. DeYoung getting some pressure here from Dubé. Dubé with a steal. Now he's tied up in behind the net, trying to rag the puck a little bit. Under 30 seconds to go on the power play. Sharp angle, chance is stopped. And the rebound, where's the puck? Sheehan might have had it underneath him. Bastarash went sprawling into the net. He had a glorious opportunity, but he was in tight and couldn't get it to go. Sheehan got a piece of it. It ended up deflecting beyond the right post and over to the far side of the zone. But a great chance there after some good forechecking by Alexi Dubé. Face-off coming to Sheehan's right. Daou will take it for Moncton. 24 seconds left in the man advantage for the Wildcats. Teton win the draw. Larkin will backpedal to his own line. Hands off to McCormick, and he'll send it back inside the Moncton zone. Jordan Spence now starts left side of his own zone. Ahead on the wing. Daou trying to get inside on the defenseman. Larkin, he can't do it, and Larkin ties him up, takes him down. Daou didn't like that. Held onside by Spence here. Spence into the corner with it. Penalty to Huckins is over. Spence now gives off to Philip Daou. Daou from a sharp angle, put it off the outside of the post, and down with his blocker hand is De Silva to smother that. Daou tried to catch De Silva cheating off that right post, and he couldn't do it. We have 7:33 to go, third period, 3-3 game. Wildcats and Teton. Moncton with both goals here in the third to erase a 2-goal deficit. Langlois looking to center. That play is broken up. Marcotti plays it behind his own net for McKinney. Ahead on the left wing, Rumsey gave off to Huckins. He'll get it out. It's forced inside the Moncton line, but not deep. Sean Stewart now with a quick outlet finds Spence at center ice. He'll wrist it in around the goal. Tyson Tomasini on it. Shovels it in behind the net. Casey couldn't get a handle. McKinney up the middle. It's kept in by Stewart. His shot deflects over the goal. Casey tied up his man Godet. He can't clear it. Now Huckins sends it around the goal. Rumsey skates further into his own zone. Got it to the line. It's not out. Spence centering pass for Langlois was behind him. Huckins with a chance to clear. He can't get it out either. Difficult shift for the Teton defensively in their own zone here. McKinney finds Huckins, and finally he'll carry it out to center. Sends it in deep. Bathurst are changing on the fly. Spence taps that around his own goal for Jacob Stewart. Had his feet taken out from underneath him by Rumsey. Still gets it down inside the Teton zone. David Doucette backhands a one-hander ahead, looking for Allison. That doesn't work. And now Stewart gets it into the Teton zone. Gabriel Bernier on it for Moncton. Bernier lost the handle. It comes back to him on the boards, but he had lost his stick. Bathurst now quickly. This is MacArthur. 2-on-1 with Allison. Allison in front, and he heeled that one wide of the net. Ben Allison with a great chance there. Now he's got it back again. Left point, Hinckley's shot deflects wide. Behind the net, MacArthur overskated the puck. Turning is Allison, looking for MacArthur. Can't get him the puck. We've got a penalty call coming up against Moncton. And a hooking call, I believe, is being signaled here against Charles-Antoine Pilote. Call it a high stick, excuse me. Time is 14:20, so with 5:40 to go, here in the third period of a tie game, the Teton are on the man advantage for the third time this afternoon. Charles-Antoine Pilote, the man in the box for the Wildcats. It'll be a face-off to Sheehan's right. Hudson won it cleanly. Connor Olson blasts it around the net. DeGagne holds it onside on the right wing boards. Played it back of the goal. MacArthur looking to center. That doesn't work. Now Marcotti for McCormick. Back to Marcotti. To McCormick again, left point. DeGagne right point. Right side, that's Rumsey. His shot is blocked. It's cleared between the defense and down the ice. 30 seconds gone in the power play. As Adam McCormick starts out. Pass up the middle to Gagne. Feeds it over to the right wing side. Rumsey had to turn to take it off the boards. Got it into the corner now. De Gagne to the line. McCormick, left side. Marcotti snaps it and scores. Marcotti with a shot from below the faceoff dot in the left circle. It was a bit of an off-speed pitch that caught Sheehan out of position. And it gets in past the Moncton goaltender. Power play goal for the Teton. And they lead again 4-3. See the replay there, the shot from near the bottom of that left wing circle. The shot by Marcotti didn't have much on it. So we get an offside call at the Moncton line. McCormick and Andrews draw assists on the goal by Marcotti. Felix Antoine Marcotti came over in a draft deal with the Chicoutimi Saguenay that sent 3rd and 4th round picks to Chicoutimi. So now the Wildcats are down late after the power play goal by Marcotti. Pavan up from the left point, forechecking against DeGagne, but he keeps the puck. Long pass through center goes off of Kidney and Indy. Out of the goal, Sheehan. Played it around the net. Kluche will chip that one back behind his own goal, and Pavan resets for Moncton. To Jeremy Berube. Berube with a left wing feed, deflected down inside the Bathurst zone. Wildcats are changing on the fly with under 4 minutes to go in regulation time. 4-3 your score, Bathurst in front. Tim Roselle with you live at Avenir Center. After this loose puck, Hudson had Dow streaking to the net, but the pass hit a skate. Kidney with a clearing pass. That hit a leg. Bastarash will get it out. Hudson has it for Moncton now. Gives off to Jordan Spence for Loshing left side. Spence joining the rush again. Loshing fanned on his shot. Now he gets it into the corner for Spence. Spence cycles it on the wall. This is Philip Daou. Daou lost the handle. Bastarash will get it up high, and he put it out of play. That's going to be a penalty call to Yannick Bastarash for delay of game. .16:44 is the time of the call. So now the Wildcats with a man advantage to try and tie the game one more time. Philip Daou takes the draw for Moncton. He won it with some help from Bernier. Spence at the line, shifts to the middle of the point. Wrist shot coming, it's blocked. Spence digging forward into Gagne's feet. Wildcats have possession again. Daou waiting. Doesn't see a lane to the net with that chance. Now he'll wind and fire. That's tipped wide. Daou bunts that on the boards for Kluche. Further into the corner, Bernier tried to give it back to Kluche. It's broken up. Larkin blasts it around the boards and past Jordan Spence and down the ice. Minute 30 to go on the power play. 2:45 left in the third period. Spence brings it ahead, drops back for Daou now. Daou in on the left wing side. Sends it back to Spence, left point. Jordan Spence, top of the right circle for Mathis Kluche. Kluche cross ice. Pass was tipped. Daou picks it up for Moncton. Daou centering in front. Loshing fires high and wide. It came back hot off the back glass. And very alertly, Tommy De Silva is able to glove that and hold for a whistle. Loshing on the Moncton bench looking down at his feet after missing that chance. Hudson wins the draw now. DeYoung shifts to the middle, fakes the shot. Now he risks. It's blocked by McCormick. Side of the net. Stammer centers. Quick shot. They score! Jacob Hudson takes the pass just off the right wing side of the crease and snaps it past a helpless De Silva. A power play goal for Moncton ties this game at 4. Great feed by Owen Stammer, who is on the left wing side of the goal line. Saw Hudson just on the inside edge of that right wing circle. And Hudson makes no mistakes. Second goal of the game for Jacob Hudson. And so it's 4-4 with 2 minutes to go. Teton now at the line. Shot from the left point is blocked. Now Moncton get it out. Sprawling at center ice, Jacob Stewart. Larkin got it ahead, and Allison will dump it in. Comes side of the net and down to his left knee. Nicholas Sheehan will stop that and smother. Just 98 seconds left in regulation time here. The goal reads Jacob Hudson, second of the game, third of the preseason. On the power play at 17:51, the assist to Owen Stammer and Vinny LaBelle. Face off to Sheehan's left. Control by Moncton. This one to center ice. Hudson got tangled up with McKinney and lost his stick, and now he and McKinney joust a little bit. Puck is back at the red line. Loshing unable to grab control. Chopped down inside the Moncton zone by Matthew DeGagne. Philip Daou steps in front of his own net. Has Hudson open on the right wing. He'll tip it inside the line. McKinney threw it cross ice for Godet. He'll clear it to the line. It's held in by Sean Stewart. Sent it high into the left wing corner. It's played behind the net. Sam McKinney with it. Right wing side. Kidney will deflect it ahead to the line. Does it get out? No, not on the initial chance, but now it's out at center. We're in the final minute of the third period as Hudson scampers back inside the line. Jacob Hudson leaves it on the left wing boards for Daou, trying to get away from Liam Kidney. Grabbed by Chisholm. Now DeGagne will carry it out. Lost it at center ice. Spence dumps it in, dodges most of a hit from Kidney. Daou brings it in with a shot. That's deflected wide. 25 seconds to go in the third period now. Chisholm at his own line. Pass for Huckins misfires. Errant feed at center ice. Here comes Logan Chisholm in on the right wing. Drops for Huckins. His shot blocked by DeYoung. Huckins after it behind the net. DeYoung is able to find it. Tristan DeYoung with 8 seconds left. Tied up in back of the goal. He's going to try and keep it against that backboards and run out the clock, and he does successfully as puck was finally freed and fed over to McCormick. But that is it for regulation time here. Moncton with 14 shots in the third period. The Acadie-Bathurst Titan just 4. Wildcats with a big third period to tie things up. Setting the stage for some 3-on-3 overtime here. So we're getting a look at the replay on the shorthanded goal scored by Bennett MacArthur back in period number 2. Dan Lacroix trying to draw something up for the Wildcats on that whiteboard in behind the net. All the coaches and training staff wearing masks behind the bench right now. Remember, the two teams change ends for overtime as well. It's the long change like in the second period. Wildcats will start with Philip Daou, Johan Loshing, and Jordan Spence. Titan counter with Felix Antoine Marcotti, Mark Rumsey, and Adam McCormick. Daou won the draw. Spence will go all the way back behind his own net with it. And now starts with a pass to the left wing for Daou. He's going to try and race past Rumsey. He does. 2-on-1. Pass in front is blocked. Daou with it again, looking to find Spence, and that was blocked too. Marcotti had McCormick streaking, but didn't find a passing lane for him. Now he brings it ahead himself. Marcotti couldn't get around Spence with control. Rumsey maintains possession for Bathurst. They'll regroup out at center ice. 3-on-3 overtime, 35 seconds gone in it. McCormick for Rumsey, brings it in left wing, tries to cut around Spence, got a shot away, and he scores. Mark Rumsey couldn't get around Spence with control of the puck, but then he spun and just blasted a shot blindly toward the net. It got through the legs of Sheehan. And 44 seconds into overtime, Mark Rumsey, the ex-Moncton Wildcat, scores the game-winning goal. And the Acadie-Bathurst Titan defeat the Wildcats here in overtime by a final score of 5-4. So a valiant effort for the Wildcats here this afternoon. They came back from 3 different deficits in this hockey game to tie things up late. And it's Mark Rumsey who comes back to burn his old team in overtime here today, scoring 44 seconds in to end this game. We will come back in just a moment to wrap things up with a final look at the scoring summary and one more check around the queue. 5-4 your final. The Teton victorious over the Wildcats in overtime. You're watching live coverage of Moncton Wildcats 2020 Kent Holmes training camp action.
Depending how complicated the house is, I'd say a half hour to set up the jig. And they give us our drawings, all our specs and what gang nail to use. Tells us all the place, all the members, how they go together. The old days, they used to use plywood gussets and with nails, but now you got a bunch of nails in it. So they hold tight once they're pressed. The table is going to slide under it, and it's going to press in one shot. Some presses take a lot of shots to press. This one's in one shot presses all the plates of the whole truck. This way, one shot and everything is stable and you don't have stuff moving around. I feel it's better this way for the kind of trusses we do. Depending how complicated the house is, I'd say a half hour to set up the jig. And they give us our drawings, all our specs and what gang nail to use. Tells us all the place, all the members, how they go together. The old days, they used to use plywood gussets and with nails, but now you got a bunch of nails in it. So they hold tight once they're pressed. The table is going to slide under it, and it's going to press in one shot. Some presses take a lot of shots to press. This one's in one shot presses all the plates of the whole truck. This way, one shot and everything is stable and you don't have stuff moving around. I feel it's better this way for the kind of trusses we do. Depending how complicated the house is, I'd say a half hour to set up the jig. And they give us our drawings, all our specs and what gang nail to use. Tells us all the place, all the members, how they go together. The old days, they used to use plywood gussets and with nails, but now.
Welcome back to Avenir Center in Moncton. Tim Roselle with you, wrapping up a 5-4 Acadie-Bathurst Titan victory in overtime over the Moncton Wildcats here in preseason action. Mark Rumsey, the overtime winner, less than a minute into that extra session. We'll run through the scoring summary for you in just a moment. Well, let's go around the queue one last time here. 3 other games in QMJHL preseason action today. One final from earlier today. St. John beat Cape Breton 5-4 in a shootout. It's a final now in Drummondville. Gatineau scored 3 unanswered goals to beat the Voltigeurs by a score of 3-1. And midway through the second period, Sherbrooke and Blainville-Boisbriand tied at 2 apiece. Here in Moncton, it's a 5-4 final. The Teton defeat their provincial rivals, the Moncton Wildcats, in overtime here this afternoon. Let's take one last look at the scoring summary as we wrap things up. Just 1 goal in the first period. It came fairly late with under 7 minutes to go, and just 12 seconds after the Acadie-Bathurst Titan had killed off their only penalty of the period. It was Ben Allison who scored his 5th goal of the preseason from Marc-Andre Gaudette. 13-18 the time of that goal. It was 1-0 Bathurst in front. They would carry that 1-0 lead into the first intermission. Shots in the first were 11-8 in favor of the Teton. Into the second period we go. The Wildcats tied things up just shy of the halfway mark. Jacob Hudson, second of the preseason from Mathis Kluche at 9:12 of the second period. It was a 1-1 game. At that point, or at least not at that point, but about a minute after that, the Wildcats changed goaltenders, as teams often do midway through the game. Dakota Lund-Cornish started this game, but Nicholas Sheehan came on in relief. The Teton opted to keep Tommy DeSilva in goal for the entirety of this hockey game. But it was 1-1 midway through the second period. Then with just over 5 minutes left in the second, Bennett MacArthur restored Bathurst's lead with a shorthanded goal, his first goal of the preseason from Kidney and DeSilva at 14:35. That made it 2-1, Teton in front. Then, with under 2 minutes to go in the period, Dylan Champagne scores on a rebound, his first goal of the preseason from Dylan Andrews at 18:08. Bathurst led 3-1. That would be your score through 40 minutes, 3-1 Teton in front. Shots in the second were 15-11 in favor of Moncton, but they were down by 2 through 2. Well, then the Wildcats started the comeback early in the third period, just over 4 minutes in. Jeremy Berube with a deflection of a shot from the point by Jordan Spence. Berube redirects home his second goal of the preseason. Spence and Casey the assists on the goal. That came at 4:17 of the third, and it cut Moncton's deficit down to 3-2. Then just shy of the halfway mark, Jordan Spence finishes off a beautiful cross-crease feed from Jacob Stewart. Gives Spence his second goal of the preseason from Jake Stewart and Gabriel Bernier at 9:59 of the third period, and just like that, it was a brand new hockey game. 3-3 your score. Fast forward now into the late stages of this one. Under 5 minutes to go, Felix Antoine Marcotti scores to give Bathurst the lead again. This was a power play goal, his second goal of the preseason. At 15:05 of the third period, McCormick and Andrews drew assists on the goal. But then Moncton got a late power play, and they tied it up again with just over 2 minutes left. Jacob Hudson's second goal of the afternoon, third of the preseason from Owen Stammer, and Vinny LaBelle made it 4-4 hockey game, 17:51 the time of that Moncton power play goal. 4-4 at that point. That would be your score through 60 minutes. Shots in the third period, 14-4 in favor of Moncton. We needed overtime, and it did not take long for Mark Rumsey, the former Moncton Wildcat, to defeat his old club. He took a pass up the middle, couldn't get around Jordan Spence with control. Spence had him mostly tied up, but then Rumsey spun around and batted the loose puck between the legs of goaltender Nicholas Sheehan to win the game. Rumsey's third goal of the preseason. McCormick, the only assist, 44 seconds into the overtime period. That is your game winner. Mark Rumsey scoring it to give Bathurst a 5-4 victory over the Wildcats here today in overtime. Wildcats went 1 for 4 on the power play. Teton 1 for 3 in this game, a man up. So now the Wildcats have one preseason game left. It comes up on Friday night when they take on the St. John Sea Dogs. That game is in St. John. Again, that's Friday, September 25th. And then the Wildcats host their season opener at home on October 2nd against the Charlottetown Islanders. Wildcats are expected to make their final cuts today. They don't have many players left on the roster right now. Gabriel Fortier is in quarantine for about another week before he can join the team. But the final remaining cuts are expected to be made here after this game is complete. It is now complete, so we'll expect to see some kind of an announcement from the Wildcats either later today or perhaps tomorrow on their last players who will not be with the team to start the season. But still some decisions to make for the Wildcats. There's no indication at this point of when their players from the import draft, Maxim Barbashev and Val Yusnik, might be able to join this hockey team. It's the same really across the league with no or very few import players on active rosters right now because of the pandemic. Gabriel Fortier also having to wait again about another week before he's able to join the latter stages of training camp. But when he does arrive, he'll be one of 4 20-year-old players with the Wildcats The limit is still 3. There had been some discussion that maybe the QMJHL would allow a fourth 20-year-old in the league this year. If that is going to happen, it's going to come late here in training camp, but no indication at this point that the 3 20-year-old rule is going to change. So the Wildcats would have a decision to make with one of their 20-year-olds, with Gabriel Forte, Jacob Hudson, Tristan DeYoung, and Dakota Lund Cornish, all a part of the training camp roster. That decision and more still to be made, but the Wildcats getting closer to the start of the season. Certainly saw some things that we liked today from some of the young players. Thought Mathis Cloutier had a decent game for the Wildcats, Vinny LaBelle as well. And those players will be among several rookie players in the Wildcats lineup this year, especially up front. But really throughout the lineup for Moncton, it will be a young and experienced hockey team learning to grow together through this season and beyond. And it'll be fun to watch those players gain confidence as they move along in the 2020-2021 season. So that'll wrap us up here at Avenir Center this afternoon. I want to say a special thank you to Cameron Penny and Brian Fisher, producers of today's broadcast. My name is Tim Roselle. Thank you for watching. Once again, your final score. In overtime, the Acadie-Bathurst Titan 5, the Moncton Wildcats 4. You've been watching live coverage of Moncton Wildcats 2020 Kent Holmes training camp action.